Welcome back to the show today, guys. And I've got a very, very special guest on the show today. A man that you may have seen on your TV screens multiple times over the years. We're here now. We're gonna talk about how it all began. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Little Ozzy.
Just
And
kidding,
what
man. That's not how I
what was
really talk.
what was it he said to you? You sound just like me.
Yeah, how about that, man? That'll
Mm,
wake you up, won't it?
yeah.
That was a pretty cool thing to hear from the Ozman himself.
Yeah. Let's rewind a little bit though. I want to know how this persona evolved and where it came from.
Yeah, it's like, where it really came from was ultimately, I was in a tribute band years ago called Mini Kiss. They are a Kiss tribute band made up of little people, but they don't actually play their instruments.
Okay.
They actually use backing tracks, which is what I do now with the Micro Wrestling Federation. But they see that I don't have a band there. So I was with them 4 years and I just got really unhappy with faking it. And I've been a musician all my life. I've had plenty of bands I've been in growing up. I've always been into music. So I know that years ago, back in the 80s, there's a band called Firehouse. They're still around, but they were a big band. And I grew up with a couple of those guys. And their guitarist used to call me Little Ozzy back in the 80s because he said I looked like Ozzy. But the weird thing was, I sound like Ozzy. And I never really tried, I don't know, I just can sing Ozzy really well. So after Mini Kiss, I decided to put together a real band, a good band. And we hit the ground running and got, you know, it's been 14 years. And I'm in the best job I've ever had in my life right now because of it. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And talk to me then about how the band started.
About what?
About how the band started.
How it started?
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened was I just decided that I was going to create a band and I was going to be in control of it all. And this was going to be about me, okay? I'm little and I'm Ozzy. So I know what I want. And I'm going to create this. And I know Sharon Osbourne is going to hear about it. And I know that she's going to hear about it. It's
Yeah.
inevitable because I'm going to make it that good. They're going to hear it. And so what I did was the first person I thought about was an old buddy of mine that actually the first time I ever went to see a band live in the 80s, real early 80s, it was a band called Vile Silencer. And they were all a bunch of guys a little bit older than me. But these guys were animals, man. They lived in a garage. They drank beer all day. They had women in and out of there. They were rock stars, right? And that's what I wanted to be like. So I called this guy up on the phone and said, "Look, I got a crazy idea. People are gonna laugh at me. They're gonna hate it. Some are gonna love it. Some are gonna think it's a joke. It's a niche. But I want to create a band and I want to call it Little Ozzy. And I want to do nothing but Ozzy songs." Okay, well, so we went through a couple musicians along the line, but we put together a really good set that I still do today, and I've added a few things here and there and moved it around a little bit, but I wanted it to really remain true to not so much the look, but I wanted it to sound when we do a Black Sabbath song. I wanted it to sound like a Black Sabbath song. When we do Randy Rhoads era song, I want it to sound like Believer from Diary of a Madman, note for note. And it took a long time to get to that point. Um, the first guitars, we had the fire and we had the want, and but it just, you settle in the beginning, I guess, because you're looking and you want to make the band perfect. But it's an evolution, it evolves because, the guy that I had, all those musicians I was to end up getting rid of and replacing, because of basically just I need better musicians if I want to sound like that. And I took it seriously. And that's how the band got together. We started recording. I mean, we started rehearsing in my hometown of Colonial Heights, Virginia, about 14 years ago. And lo and behold, after about 3 years, 4 years of doing it, I got a call from NBC to come and perform a surprise performance that Sharon Osbourne had no idea about. And then ultimately that led to me meeting Sharon Osbourne, and then few years later, meeting Ozzy Osbourne and Jack Osbourne on the History Channel. And
Mm,
that was another chapter in Little Ozzy. It's pretty
yeah.
cool.
Talk to me about that phone call where they pitched the idea to you to come in and sing in front of Sharon. What were you thinking? Did you know this moment was going to come?
When they called me up to sing for Sharon,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll tell you how that went. Um, I got a call from a talent scout for America's Got Talent. You're not going to compete. We will pay you and fly you to St. Louis, Missouri, to perform for Sharon Osbourne, a song of your choice. And Howard Stern is going to X you, and Howie Mandel is going to X you. But Sharon Osbourne has no idea that you're even coming. She doesn't even know if you exist. But we were looking for a little Ozzy, and we looked and we searched and we Googled, and you were the only one in the world. So you get the lucky ticket, you see. So it was kind of cool because I went in, and it was an amazing thing to stand in that line back there and know for several months that I was going to be meeting Sharon Osbourne, which was one of my favorite people in the world. And I got a little nervous. I chose to sing "Mama, I'm Coming Home" because I wanted to get her heart, and I
Mm,
won, you know, I won. So it went really well. Yeah.
yeah. What was the moment like backstage then when you two guys got to have a conversation?
Man, the crazy part was I didn't get to see her until I was about the second person to get ready to go out. And then when the curtain went back and I was in line in the place where I was, I could see her face about maybe 30 feet away from me. And yeah, that was a really, really surreal moment when I saw Howard Stern and how ugly he actually is in real life.
So what did she say to you?
She said, "You did wonderful. Oh, thank you so much. You did great. You sound like my husband." She just really praised me a lot and thanked me. And what happened was after I sang to him, and then Howard Stern said, "Come out here and meet Sharon," and I hugged her. When I was leaving, they came and got me, and they said, "You need to come back here. Sharon wants to see you in her dressing room." And I thought, okay, this is wonderful. And she was just absolutely wonderful. And she said, she loved it and it was amazing and that I had a great voice. And she hugged me again, goodbye. And she said, "We will see you real soon." And I thought, that's weird.
Mm,
We will see you soon. But 4 years later, I got a call from Ozzy because of Sharon.
yeah.
So That was kind of cool.
We'll touch on the Aussie meetup in a moment, but just to go
Sure.
on a TV show like that in
Yeah,
front of such an audience, like what did that do for your band in terms of elevation?
man, that was amazing. That did so much that it blew my mind on a small scale because my mind still is being blown today and on a larger scale. But what happened was they told me 4.5 million viewers will see you the first night.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, I couldn't buy publicity like that. This is it. This is wonderful. What a blessing. So I go on there and I do it. And I come home and I watch it on TV and I start seeing all these X's. Boo, boo. And I'm like, they were not booing me when I was there. They have added to this and added it in.
Mm,
So I was like crushed. Oh my gosh, these people are going, you suck. You're no good, little Ozzy. Yeah. And I was like, oh. So my daughter called me on the phone and she said, Dad, you're trending worldwide on Twitter. Little Ozzy at like number 4, the most trended thing search for. And then my other daughters said, go look at the their website, and they had a chat going, and everybody was saying, "Heck with them, heck with them." He sounds just like Ozzy. We love you, little Ozzy. So it was a win for me.
yeah.
It was a win.
th- They, they say all publicity is good publicity as well, but you know as well as I do that they're not really prone to like rock music on mainstream television, really, on a show like that.
And I knew they weren't. I wasn't a $2 million vocal act. I'm a tribute singer to Ozzy. I wasn't trying to go anywhere. And
Yeah.
that's the beauty and the magic of TV. They can make it do what they want to do, and people love it. So that's what
Mm,
it's all about. It's show business, man.
yeah.
Show biz, show biz.
Didn't they have Steel Panther on that show? Was it last year?
I know, yeah, that's funny.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. But about the band you were asking me
Mm,
about the band and what it
yeah.
did for the band. I had an amazing run. I had the first bout of just phone calls coming in. I was probably gone Wednesday night until Sunday night or Monday morning every week. I was playing probably, man, big shows. I probably 12 to 15 shows a month. It was busy. It wasn't a tour, but it was 3 cities in one weekend because
Yeah.
guys work jobs and things like that. But it was a really, really fun time and some sad times and some bad times, you
Mm.
know. But it was all overall. It's been wonderful.
Aside from that TV appearance, obviously, what's the best live music experience you've had with the band? Is there a concert or a gig to you that stands out? Say that's my favorite show, and if so, what would it be?
Yeah, there's been a few of those moments, as I was saying, in the evolution of the band. Probably one of the funnest was 3 years into it. We got a show out in the mountains of Pennsylvania, and it was in
Okay,
the middle of Amish country. And it was a house connected to a barn, connected to another house, full of bars, pool tables,
nice.
and a stage. And I thought nobody's going to show up tonight. So we went back to the hotel after sound check. And when we got back, it was probably 1,000 people there. You couldn't even get to the stage. And
Wow.
it was a lot of Amish people were there too. It was really funny. It was a fun night. That was a really fun time. But a couple of them would probably be some of the festivals that I've done, like with Lita Ford and some of the bigger bands and some of the bigger tribute bands. Those are some fun shows. And the
Yeah,
casinos are always fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think festivals are perfect, like for an act like you, because everyone is just in the moment, aren't they? At a festival,
Oh,
and they're open to like everything and anything rock.
They are, man. Yep, they're a lot of fun.
Yeah. Talk to me about then the years later when you got to meet Ozzy and Jack on the History Channel and the process of that happening.
Yeah, that was really a cool thing. The process of that happened was really, you want the dramatic story or do you want the quick story?
Oh, give me all the drama.
You want the drama. Okay. Okay. I was to get extremely busy after America's Got Talent and extremely addicted to pain pills,
Okay.
uh, opiates. I was losing my hips and I was in terrible pain every day of my life. And I was on a lot of oxycodone to the point that I realized I was for sure 100% a drug addict.
Hmm.
And, but I still pushed and played. I never missed shows as long as I had the pills. I was fine. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I came to the end of myself when I was told, you need double hip surgery and you're going to have to be out of work for a year. And I became extremely depressed. And I went
Hmm.
to rehearsals and I told the guys I'm gonna have to take a year off, and you know, we're just hopefully you guys are still want to be in the band in a year. And then my phone rings. Hello, this is Ozzy Osbourne. I said you, and I hung the phone up. I thought it was a prank call,
Of
but it
course.
was
Yeah.
really Ozzy. So the History Channel called me back, and I'm getting to the end of this in a minute. But the History Channel calls me back, and they tell me that you hung up on Ozzy Osbourne. It was actually really Ozzy, and we're gonna patch you through. And they patched me through, and it was Ozzy and Jack, and they told me they were coming to my hometown to have lunch and meet me because Mom told them they had to put me on their show. So I
Nice.
won. You see, so that was really really nice because in the middle of battling those demons, I was to go through the surgery. When I met Ozzy Osbourne, I was really not walking good because I was in a lot of pain, a whole
Yeah.
lot of pain. But it was the most amazing thing in the world to be able to sit down with those guys. And Jack is the perfect gentleman, and just talk to them. And it was really really inspiring, and they were great. They were gracious to me. Sharon, Ozzy, they have all been gracious to me. They have never messed with me.
Yeah.
They told me they loved what I'm doing. Ozzy has told me on the History Channel that you do sound like me, to be completely honest, and you could have shot me. Boom, I was done. Yeah. I've lived life.
That must have really helped though with the rehabilitation process to have a moment like that and then kind of maybe drive you forward to being like, yes, I am going to get back to where I was and I am going to continue this ship.
It did. It was a tough year, but you know what I did that year as well? I also did a CD with a gentleman in Germany. He
Okay.
reached out to me and he was writing a Black Sabbath sounding album. And he wanted someone that sounded like Ozzy on his album. And he said I could do all the vocals. And that can be downloaded for free if you like just Google Little Ozzy and J.E. Frey, Frey, and you can hear the whole album that I did while I was down. Um, a lot of the words and a lot of the things that were written were from a dark place and a place of hope because um, God showed me that you can be down and you can be addicted and you can be in the lowest part of your life, but I can still be in control and your destiny can still be handled. You know, so it was a great thing to write that and have that to preoccupy me with an
Yeah.
outlet and comprise an original CD from a tribute singer. You know.
Mhm.
was great.
Now, I do have a lot of guests on this show. I do have a lot of pro wrestlers, a lot of
No,
people from the music industry, a lot of people from the horror industry. You've matched two of those industries together with the rock and the wrestling. So, how did the wrestling element come about?
man, that's another one of those left fielders from out there that just came in one day. About a year and a half ago, I got a call from the owner of the Micro Wrestling Federation because he was filming a reality show for the Discovery Channel called Big Little Brawlers, and they were doing a huge festival in Nashville, Tennessee called Microfest, and it would be the sixth episode, the final episode of the first season. And he hired my band to play that, and we went and played that, and we just got to talking a lot. And I said, "Hey, man, what do you think about me going out on the road with you and singing some songs and maybe emceeing your events?" And so I met him in Jacksonville, Florida, where I was living at the time, in St. Augustine, and they were just a wonderful professional outfit. These
Yeah,
guys are like WWE on steroids. They're professionals. He's a great boss. He's a an incredible person, and it's been a year this month that I've gone to work with them, and I have spent the last year up until 3 weeks ago, literally on tour in a different city every night of my life for 1 year with my wife in an RV and two dogs. And it's been a trip, man. And now I am stationed by the Micro Wrestling Federation at their home base in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, where we have a huge amusement park, Dollywood, owned by Dolly Parton. We have
yes.
a huge tourist town here, and there's shows, and it looks like a little Vegas strip here. And he's put me here full time, and it's 4 days a week for 4 hours a day. And I'm living the dream, brother. I'm living
Awesome.
the dream.
Here's a question for you. I know we touched on the double hip surgery. If that wasn't a thing and if your body was kind of a bit more in tune for it, could you have seen yourself stepping into the ring to perform and wrestle?
Man, you know what? Probably not. No,
No.
no. And see, and I'll clarify that too right now because a lot of people think I'm a wrestler. I'm not a wrestler. I work
Yes.
for the Micro Wrestling Federation. I MC the
Mhm.
events and I perform Ozzy Osbourne music before every show. So I
Yeah.
have a really good job.
Yeah. No, but what I was saying is if you were telling me that you got double hip surgery, yeah.
Yeah.
If aside from that, if the body was able for it, would you have considered I know you don't wrestle, but would you have considered wrestling?
Yeah. I wish I'd have known about this 20 years ago, 30 years ago. I
Yeah.
would have done it totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with the wrestling company then, does that kind of tie you up in terms of can you tour with the band now at the moment, or are you kind of contracted into this thing?
Well, here's the thing with uh, the tour thing nowadays. It's so weird unless you're Metallica. Well, they don't even tour anymore, really. It seems like. Um, um, I'm doing little Ozzy shows, and I still have my band together, and the
Yeah.
guys are wonderful and they're great. They're a heck of a band. But I only do select shows now that are worth my time
Yes.
because this is a great gig that I have with the Micro Wrestling
Mm.
Federation. So it's moved me out of Florida into the hills of Tennessee, you
Yeah.
know, with my wife, because it's an opportunity to be a part of something really, really nice. However, my boss is 100% supportive of me leaving and playing shows and
Awesome.
filling in, yeah, as much as I want. He wants to see me get ahead and not just sit here. Yeah.
Mm.
So future
So
plans,
mm,
um, yeah, there's probably going to be some shows coming up. We had one for the Eclipse up in Illinois, the Totality, and they canceled that. Actually, they postponed it to probably around Halloween
okay.
because of the traffic and things like that. They couldn't get production to commit, and it was really weird. So yeah, we just postponed that. But yeah,
Halloween is always good for rock shows.
Yeah.
For people that haven't seen the Micro Wrestling Federation, could you kind of not sell it to them, but break it down for them and tell them why it's so good?
Yeah, they have actually, they're 100% comprised of little people.
Yeah,
You have to be under 5 foot tall to even be considered to be a micro. Okay. So I'm
yeah,
4'8". I qualified, even though I'm not a wrestler. Um, I would say that these guys are tremendous athletes. They have a WWE size uh, format ring, completely professional wrestling ring, but it's scaled down. It's 12 by 12 all the way around. And these guys are professional wrestlers. They're good guys, there's bad guys. They are legit. They jump off the top rope, they fly, they pin. They are all wild, and they're all different characters. And it's probably one of the most coolest things I've ever watched in my life, to watch these guys get up here and build this ring and then wrestle in it. They're really legit athletes. You know,
mm,
you don't want to miss it.
yeah. It's awesome that, like, we talk about different things that have went on in your life, and here you are. Did you ever foresee yourself being in this industry?
No, and it's a funny thing because we do change. 10 years ago, you would not pay me to sing to a backing track because I was trying to get away from that.
Yeah.
In my 50s now,
Mm,
and having been in a tribute band for 14 years and seen the ups and the downs and the friends and the knives in the back and the good friends and the people that want to go live their lives, and it's so much easier, man. It's so
mm.
fun to go in there ready to roll, dress like Ozzy, please about 200 to 300 people a night with three Ozzy songs, scream my heart out and go right home. I love it.
Yeah, the music industry is changed in a lot of ways, though. Like every time I go to see bands now, maybe in the smaller shows, especially, and you've probably seen this as well, there's not even any amps on stage anymore. It's crazy.
It is. It's amazing. They're all going the cheap way. They're doing fly-ins.
Yeah.
So you don't get on a tour bus anymore like they did in the '80s. All your big bands like Firehouse, Warrant, Quiet Riot, L.A. Guns. They're getting on an airplane on a Thursday, and they're going out and they're playing Friday night somewhere in Mississippi, and then they're in Missouri Saturday night, and then they're back home with their wife and kids on Sunday night, and it makes
Mm,
sense. You know,
yeah.
it's a different world.
It is. It's always evolving, and the music and the rock scene will always have a place in my heart. Anyway, what do you think of the current state of the music industry, or do you listen to anything new that comes out, or are you like me, just listen to the old stuff?
Man, I listen to the old stuff. I listen to the new stuff too. But I'm from the '80s, so I'm still getting used to the '90s. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, sure.
I'm discovering um, Stone Temple Pilots and Alice in Chains, and I'm a little further behind because it takes me a while to acclimate. I guess I'm kind of
Mhm.
angry. I was angry at the grunge scene for a while. And then
Mm,
I'm like, wow, this is pretty good stuff. Some of
yeah.
it, some of it's garbage.
Yeah, a lot of people were like that. In like I'm a little bit younger than you, but when I
Right.
was growing up, new metal was a massive thing. Slipknot, Corn, Limp Bizkit. And a lot of people hate that.
Yeah,
But
right.
but as time has evolved, some of these bands are headlining the biggest festivals in the world now in a kind of
Uh,
a commercial sense.
oh, it's crazy because you know what? That's a true story. My son-in-law plays guitar in Little Ozzy, and he's
Mm,
22. Well, he is in a Linkin Park tribute
mhm.
and a Nirvana tribute,
There you
and
go.
man, they sell out. They sell out, hands down. Yeah.
I'm a rock DJ over here in Ireland, so I do nightclubs, etc., etc. But
Okay.
I'm touring now at the moment with a System of a Down tribute band, and by
Oh,
God,
nice.
they are very, very good.
Yeah, they sound like the real thing.
Yeah, and plus
Great.
system don't really tour, so anytime we go out on the road with these guys, people are there to see them. So it's happy win-win.
I know, right? That's a win-win. What time is it in Ireland?
It's 12:29 a.m. right now.
You're getting tired.
Getting tired now. We're going to wrap this thing up, but what I want to know is where's the best place for people to kind of follow you on social media, keep up with your tour dates, keep up with what you're doing.
Man, you know what? If you just any of the platforms type in Little Ozzy, you can follow me on Facebook. Instagram is if you type Little Ozzy, my last name is on it because I created all these things 14 years ago beforehand. But and then my website is littleozzybites.com. And
Awesome.
then you can find me always on the Micro Wrestling Federation. Yeah,
Awesome.
if people
That's
look for
brilliant.
that. Yeah.
Well, man, it's been an absolute pleasure. I think we'll catch up with you at some point again soon,
I hope
and
so, brother.
keeping tabs of the wrestling and see where you guys are going.
I appreciate your time, man.
I appreciate your time, man. I
Yeah.
really. I'd like to thank you for today's show. It's been a pleasure.
God bless you. Keep rocking.
Keep rocking, man.